I wasn't planning on making this video, especially because I was stupid and planned a trip to Japan for the week that PSVR 2 launched, but after trying this headset out and seeing some initial opinions online, I feel like I gotta speak up. PSVR 2 is the pinnacle of VR gaming without spending thousands of dollars. It has its issues, but, and here's the key, it's a purely gaming-focused device. No productivity-focused BS that's getting in the way of gaming. It's full of features like head haptics and adaptive triggers that make it the most immersive device right out of the box. It's also the best balance of performance, ease of use, and cost. It has some visual issues, but I honestly didn't notice most of it while playing. And remember, you're getting the entire thing for under $1,000. So I personally recommend the headset to anyone with a PS5 and is new to VR. If you already own an amazing PC setup or want to get an amazing PC setup, there's other headsets out there. But for a simple, straightforward, gaming-focused headset for a PS5 that you might already own, PSVR 2 is the way to go. Now, when I first tried PlayStation VR 2, I said this. The visuals looked only slightly better than the Quest 2. I didn't have that much time to test it, but I didn't feel like it was a major improvement over the Quest 2. And now I understand why I didn't like it more than the Quest 2. Sure, the graphics are on the same level as high-end PC VR, but there's three visual issues that I've noticed with this headset. First, there's Mura, which is a fancy word for screen door effect that looks like this grainy video noise or eye floaters that are there in the headset. And it's mostly noticeable only when looking at scenes with a lot of one color and very little movement. Also, fun fact, Mura is a fairly new term that I learned this week. It's Japanese for unevenness. And no, I didn't learn it from visiting Japan this last week. Leave it to the weebs in the VR community to invent some fancy new Japanese hentai words for terms that we already have. Of course, I'm joking, I know it's a term that we use outside of the VR space, but still. Along with that, there's chromatic aberration, which is when colors start to separate, but you only notice it at the edge of the lenses, and it's only noticeable on black text with like a white background, or at least that's where I mostly noticed it. The last issue is the stuttering motion blur that makes games feel like they have a low frame rate. I think this is some sort of reprojection to help games run better, and supposedly lowering the brightness helps. But for me, even lowering the brightness didn't help. It's really bad in games that are graphic intensive like Horizon, but other games didn't have the issue. By the way, if you can't figure out how to open PSVR 2's settings, don't spend half an hour digging through the settings or asking people on Twitter like me, only to find out that it's an option you can select when selecting the controller icon in the quick menu, which makes perfect sense, Sony. Instead, there's a quick way to open the settings. Just double click the PlayStation button on one of the controllers to access the PlayStation VR settings menu, and there you can turn down the brightness to see if that helps with these visual artifacts. Again, I don't think it helped me much, but for others, it at least made some of the artifacts a little bit less noticeable. But despite these issues, I still recommend the device to anyone that owns a PS5 and wants to get into VR for the first time. And that's because PlayStation VR 2 is the most immersive VR headset ever made. Yes, it has some visual artifacts, but it's a gaming-focused device with features that no other headset has. For one, I can't imagine playing VR without head haptics anymore. I thought this was a relatively useless feature, but feeling my head vibrate as a ship lands in No Man's Sky adds so much more immersion. Beyond that, these adaptive triggers are absolutely amazing for VR. I may turn them off in more competitive games like Pavlov because it prevented me from shooting quickly, but for more immersive single-player experiences, it adds so much to the fun and immersion. Eye tracking has been cool for selecting menu options and for foveated rendering to help games run better, but the best part of eye tracking hasn't even been used yet. There's games coming out soon that will use this feature to the fullest by literally tracking and responding to when you blink and where you're looking in the world, and so it's really something to look forward to. And lastly, it's a very comfortable headset with quality of life features like this quick release button for adjusting the strap, and these one-hand tightening straps. It's just so refreshing to have a device from an experienced hardware manufacturer that's catered solely for gaming and absolutely nothing else. Now, the biggest complaint I see with PSVR 2 is the lack of good games at launch, which is a crazy complaint because I can think of at least 20 games that I've already dropped or will drop dozens of hours into. First, there's two AAA quality games that are exclusive to PlayStation VR, which are Horizon Call of the Mountain and Resident Evil Village. Then there's games that I could never play with PC VR because I could never get decent frame rates even with a 3090, but for PlayStation VR 2 it just works. For example, No Man's Sky and Gran Turismo. And then there's several other games that are available on Quest as well, but just look so much better on PlayStation VR, like Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge, Demeo, and After the Fall. If you already own a Quest and have played most of the launch lineup, then you might not be that excited, and understandably so. But for someone that's brand new to VR, this is an amazing lineup of games that'll keep you entertained for months on end, while new, even more amazing games start to release. So is PlayStation VR 2 perfect? Absolutely not. It has its downsides, but everyone I know that has kept using it despite its downsides have all been having a blast. As soon as you stop focusing on the hardware and start focusing on the games and the immersive experiences, you realize it's honestly one of the best VR gaming devices out there for that price. especially because it's the most simple plug-and-play device out there. No more dealing with hours of troubleshooting to set up VR mods or to get games running at good frame rates. No more researching accessories and head straps just to get a minimum level of comfort. Just plug it in and it works. It's what Quest was supposed to be and is still trying to be, but with high-end VR games that look amazing. And sure, it's not wireless like the Quest 2, which is one reason why I'll still use the Quest 2 for a lot of PC VR experiences. But when I want to sit down on my couch for a racing sim, a game of Demio, or a long No Man's Sky session, I'll be reaching for my PlayStation VR 2. And when I do want to play standing or room scale, I'll probably just get some of those pulleys to hold the wire out of the way, essentially making it feel wireless. And sure, it has some of those screen door effects and other visual artifacts, but the reason I don't use an index is because I literally see the screen door effects on index by just being able to see that headset's pixels. Yet that isn't stopping people from using and recommending the index. This isn't to say PlayStation VR 2 is necessarily better than the index or even the Quest 2. In many ways it's not, and I'll continue using my Quest 2 on my 3090 PC for most of my VR gaming, especially for stuff like VR Chat and Skyrim, which are only on PC for now. But having a 3090 PC, expensive Quest accessories, a dedicated router for wireless PC VR, those are all luxuries that most people don't have. So again, for the price point, for not spending thousands of dollars, PlayStation VR 2 is the pinnacle of VR gaming, especially because it's coming from a gaming company. The focus is solely on gaming, not any other BS. So my official recommendation, like I've said, is if you don't have and don't plan on buying a gaming PC one day, and you already have a PS5, then PSVR 2 is the way to go, no doubt about it.